good whenever it is you're tuning in. Welcome to TicketPrice, the only show on the internet that asks the question that matters. Are these movies worth the ticket price? In other words, are they worth your time and money? Thank you for listening, and with you as always, my name is Jake, co-host and voice of the show. With me as always, co-host extraordinaire, suggestively toggling his mic stand. Yeah, slow it down. Yeah. Co-host extraordinaire and aspiring fluffer.
Aspiring? What are you talking about? I headline that son of a bitch.
And the only man who starts every day with a cup of coffee, some quiet meditation, and performing the splits on folding chairs. Tevis at Master Control. Tevis, how are you, sir? As I cross my legs to hide the excitement.
I tried doing the splits between two chairs one time by accident.
Yeah, talk us through it?
Yeah. That's why I still walk bow-legged. It was not a pleasurable experience. That looks painful as shit.
Yeah, it does.
Especially when Jean Claude's lower than his heels. Like, holy God.
He's getting that deep stretch.
No shit. And he just looks calm as hell.
Because he is calm as hell.
I know. He's in his space. He's comfortable.
How do I put this? He's in better shape than we are.
Yeah.
Even now. Is he clean yet? Did he sober?
I don't think he does that $10,000 a week cocaine addiction anymore. I don't think he has that.
Okay.
But even when he was doing that, he was in better shape than I am.
Yeah. Well, that seems like as good a segue as any. Today, episode 87, we are looking at Bloodsport. Bloodsport.
So I couldn't remember what movie we were watching. So I was like, well, it was a Jean Claude Van Damme movie. And it was about him being in the secret tournament. ChatGPT can help me out.
Wait a minute.
So I typed in.
Wait, hold on. Why are you segueing like we have some sort of sponsorship? We're not sponsored by any. You're just like, but I couldn't remember. You know who was there to help me out? Someone not paying. We are not
Squarespace.
We are. I really
have you
want to
tried HelloFresh?
I really want to learn how to do this so I can actually put on a good episode. No, we are not sponsored. Now, excuse me, I've got to play Shadow Legends on my phone.
If you use our code,
shut up,
you get a free mage.
Ooh, free mage. Holy shit. Is she amply bosomed?
Of course. It's the only way they come. But I couldn't remember what movie we did, so I'm like, okay, I'll look it up. No big deal. There are like 4 different movies that have the exact same plot.
Yeah, it's called Jean Claude Van Damme's filmography.
So I ended up watching Bloodsport, Kickboxer, The Quest, Lionheart, Death Warrant,
Street Fighter. Street Fighter is built around a secret tournament, is it not? Bison is holding a secret tournament.
This movie that we watched, Bloodsport, is Street Fighter, it seems like.
Yeah.
It's so weird. I was watching it and I'm like, holy crap, this is a Street Fighter character. This is another Street Fighter character.
Yeah.
We'll get into it.
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
Yes, we will. Now, released in 1988, based on the air quotes true, air quotes life story of air quotes veteran Frank Dux. D-U-X.
The more I read and learned about Mr. Dukes, the more I hated Mr. Dukes.
Okay, question. Do we want to just cover this now, or do you want to do it later? We have to talk about it.
We do have to talk about it. Let's do it later.
Okay. We'll get through the movie.
Yeah.
Okay. But no, I just, based on the air quotes true, air quotes life story of air quotes veteran. Did you read that too?
The veteran part?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I think you've read more than I have, but I just went, okay. Yeah. All right. Moving on. Released in 1988. Written by Sheldon Lettich, Christopher Cosby, and Mel Friedman. Red flag. And also, I'm baffled.
Why this has 3 writers?
How in the hell does Bloodsport have 3 writers? And why did it need 3 writers?
Well, it's the complex arc of Mr. Dukes.
You don't understand. To truly master the art of the montage, you need multiple writers there to soundboard ideas off of each other and build each other up and create this complex network of storytelling.
Absolutely.
Montage.
See, you just answered your own question right there.
Red flag?
Red flag.
Red flag. Okay.
Plus, somebody was probably like one of the writers who it wasn't credited at all. He probably spoke up during filming and was like, we need to have Jean Claude's butt in this movie. So can we film that? And they're like, absolutely. And they gave him credit.
Hold on. We're going to get there because that might be one of the best parts of this movie. So, directed by Newt Arnold. And I went, Newt? Newt? Am I watching Aliens? What horseshit is this?
So I looked up this guy.
Newt Arnold?
Newt Arnold. I had never heard of him before. This motherfucker has worked on everything.
Is he really?
Holy shit. He was like second.
He did Bloodsport. He did Kickboxer. He did Lionheart. He did several Seagal movies.
I inadvertently watched every one of his movies in the last 3 days. But no, he was a lot of first assistant director, second assistant director. But he worked on Rules of Engagement, Last Action Hero, Blue Chips, TMNT 2, The Secret of the Ooze, School Ties.
I don't know what that one
is. The
is.
Abyss.
Ooh.
Lockup. We watched Lockup. He was the first assistant director.
He's losing points now. You're right. I have watched Lockup. He's losing points.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Gross.
The Goonies.
Wait. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, famously the Texas Chainsaw Massacre that sees Sheriff Dennis Hopper have a chainsaw sword fight with Leatherface.
Yeah, I think he filmed that. I'm just kidding. I don't know. But he worked on Blade Runner.
Okay. The good one?
The Jerk. What else? Godfather Part 2.
Okay.
The Towering Inferno. Like, this guy's...
So you're saying he's had a good career.
He's been in the business. He's been giving it the business.
You know what, though? How do I put this?
But then he made Bloodsport.
Him being an assistant director for, say, insert one of the movies one of the good ones, like
Godfather.
The Abyss. Yeah, or Godfather. Sometimes a person can be an assistant and they have just all the talent in the world and they make that leap to being a director and they've got all these ideas and you're just like, oh man, this guy or lady, this person is killing it. And then there are those people who really their strength is just being an assistant to help someone refine and clarify their vision.
Oh, I agree.
Now, if he was assisting on like Godfather Part 2 or The Abyss or something like that, or Ninja Turtles.
You said one of the good ones. You did that.
But I will fight you without any of my weapons, like the Turtles do in TMNT 2, Secret of the Ooze. But then he directs Bloodsport. I feel like maybe we have one of these situations coming. I'm not going to say which. We'll get there.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
Like there are some people who, and this isn't just directing, this is true for all kinds of stuff. There are people who are able to take the reins of something and lead it. And then there are people who are honestly better at and stronger suited for assisting the person holding the reins. And I do not mean that in any negative light.
I agree with you. And I think we will answer the question as we get through this.
So, starring Jean Claude Van Damme in his premiere film, his first, and Forrest Whitaker, and Forrest Whitaker's eye. Budget. Did that joke give you Forrest Whitaker eye? Do people still make that joke?
No.
Okay. Send your hate mail to TicketPrice. All right, budget. Tevis, what do you think Bloodsport was made for?
$27.
No, that's just what they spent on the camera. Or the microphones.
The dialogue coach. I'm going to say $10 million.
Okay. With an estimated budget of $1.1 million.
Damn.
And a worldwide gross of $11.8 million.
Okay.
So really, what we have here is a Blair Witch Project scenario. If you're able to actually get a movie made for $1 million or less, the nature of the beast will show it making a profit.
Yeah. And I honestly, I'm surprised that it only made $10 million.
Well, it made 11.
I'm sorry. I'm surprised it only made $11 million.
Well, this is 88, and actually a lot of, if you look up on this movie, a lot of the positive things that are said about it talk about Jean Claude Van Damme and Bloodsport revitalizing Western movie-going interest in kung fu movies. Because Bruce Lee's been gone for how long by the time 88 rolls around?
Oh, yeah. I don't remember when he...
Jackie Chan really hadn't made any big waves in the West yet, because honestly, that wouldn't be till Rush Hour.
Right.
And so they were like, no, Jean-Claude revitalized Western interest in the kung fu movie market. But even with revitalized interest, that is or at least at the time, I think now it would be a larger market. But in 88, that was still kind of a niche subculture of movie-going audiences.
I'd agree.
Goddamn Clarence, Tiny Penis was talking to the waitress at the cafe endlessly about this great movie he watched, Bloodsport.
No, it wasn't Bloodsport. It was Elvis Presley.
Well, yeah, but you could only talk about Elvis for so long.
That's true.
Clarence, I have to stand on multiple phone books to have sex with my girlfriend.
You stop making fun of True Romance. That's a classic.
Classic.
Yeah. Yes.
Classic. Well, speaking of classics, awards. 1 nomination. Bloodsport has 1 nomination.
Okay.
And the Razzie for Worst New Star.
Really?
Jean-Claude, he didn't win, just a nomination, but Jean Claude Van Damme, Razzie nomination for Worst New Star.
Do you know who won that year?
No, I could look it up real quick.
I didn't know if you had it. I figured it would be Steven Seagal because they debuted the same year.
Did they really? Hold on.
Yeah. Out for Justice, I think, was the shithole movie that Mr. Siegel.
Hold on. Now I'm looking up. You're supposed to look the shit. Wait. No, wait a minute. Is that true? That's mean if this is true.
What?
Apparently, well, hold on. Razzie for Worst Actor in 88 went to Bill Cosby for Leonard Part 6. Worst Actress went to Madonna for Who's That Girl? Worst Director went to Norman Mailer for Tough Guys Don't Dance. And, there was a co-winner for Worst Director because Elaine May also got it for Ishtar. Ishtar was so bad. Oh, that's so mean. Worst New Star. The winner went to David Mendenhall. The boy, the kid in Over the Top.
Oh,
They gave it to the child actor.
Yes. I would agree.
Oh, that's mean. Although I don't see, am I in the right year? 88. Hold on. Where's Barbarians? Tough Guys Don't
Would it
Dance.
be? No, it would be 89 because 88 the movie came out.
Oh, Jim Varney Goes to Camp.
Yeah, so I have it. I pulled it
Or
up.
Jim Varney for Ernest Goes to Camp got nominated. How dare they? Okay, hold on.
He lost to Ronald McDonald.
Hold on. So 89, I'm sorry, I've got the correct list now. 89, worst actor, Sylvester Stallone, Rambo 3. We need to just do an episode where we go through Razzies. Worst actress winner, Liza Minnelli for Arthur 2, On the Rocks.
And Rent-A-Cop.
Worst director, again, we have a tie. Blake Edwards for Sunset and Stuart Raphael for Mac and Me. Oh my God, I forgot about Mac and Me. Oh, gross. Somehow it's an E.T. movie worse than E.T. Yeah. Here it is, worst new star, Ronald McDonald playing himself in the film Mac and Me.
Is that the one with the little alien that looks like he has a butthole for a mouth?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
And that kid in the wheelchair gets like pushed down a hill into a crevasse or some shit. Worst original song, Fresh Jack and Caddyshack 2. Gross. Worst picture. Worst picture. Cocktail.
Beat Rambo 3 and Mac and Me.
Worst screenplay, Cocktail, also beating Rambo 3 and Mac and Me. Worst supporting actor, Dan Aykroyd, Caddyshack 2. Oh man, I'm dying. This is so funny to me. All right, moving on. So yes, just nominated for worst new star, getting beat by everyone's favorite fast food clown, Ronald McDonald. Oh, well, there's something.
I learned something today.
Only on TicketPrice.
Hell yes.
And also, everyone hated Rambo 3.
Yes, I've watched that. I remember telling my dad after I watched that, he's like, "How was the movie? Did you like it?" I'm like, "I didn't like it." I said, "You might like it because it's boring."
You might like it because you have bad taste in movies, Dad. You don't understand me.
I'll be in my room.
Young Tevis runs off. All right. So, I was going to say I have two questions, but I'll save it. We have a lot to talk about at the end.
Yes, we do.
So, Tevis, what is your history with Bloodsport?
I have no history with Bloodsport. I have never watched Bloodsport. I realized this after I watched the plethora of Jean Claude Van Damme movies. I was like, "Oh yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it."
Thanks to our sponsor.
Yeah. Thanks to our sponsor, ChatGPT.
Oh, stop it! You're not supposed to actually name something.
Oh, sorry.
But not only are we not sponsored, we're now sued.
No, this was always a movie on my list to watch, but I don't know why. I just never got around to it. And after watching Kickboxer, I realized why I never got around to it.
Wait, legitimately, how did you go on a Jean-Claude binge?
I did watch Kickboxer after this because I couldn't remember Bloodsport. I remember the Chong Li. I remember the villain.
Yeah. Well, that's because this was a martial arts movie in the 80s. And you couldn't be a martial arts movie in the 80s or even an action movie if this guy didn't show, if Chong Li didn't show up as the villain or a villain at some point.
So after I watched Bloodsport, I was like, was he in Kickboxer? But did I just miss him? Because I remember this guy. So I watched Kickboxer, but I went and I looked up this actor who played Chong Li. He was also in Double Impact with Jean Claude Van Damme. So that's how I remember.
Now I have seen Double Impact, but it definitely didn't have Jean Claude Van Damme in it. I may have watched a different Double Impact.
It had 2 Jean Claude Van Dammes in it.
Oh, there was a point with 2 guys. Never mind.
Are you watching on Pornhub again?
Hey, that didn't exist yet. This was a VHS. You had to put it in the player.
Oh, was it that lesbian vampire movie that you were telling me about a while ago?
What?
I don't remember. Wasn't there that? What? You were talking about some lesbian vampire movie?
Love Lies Bleeding, the lesbian female bodybuilding movie.
That's what I meant.
No vampires.
But what's the one with the lady from
Kristen
head
Stewart
of the class?
Who?
Or one day at a time?
Oh no, that was the giant snake movie.
Yeah, with lesbians.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it just opens with graphic softcore fellatio.
Okay. Was that a burned or a recorded off TV copy?
No, here's the thing.
So you had that and Double
We
Impact?
rented it.
Did you have to go through like a curtain?
No, which is all the more shocking. But then again, we may have been the only people on the planet to have watched this turd, so no one knew it was in there.
Okay. I still haven't been able to find that. I've been looking
for
on Pornhub
for research purposes.
Yes. What's your history with Mr. Van Damme's Bloodsport film?
Well, I went into this going, okay, I've seen this before. And then I got to watching it and I realized, no, I had seen Kickboxer before. And then I've never seen Bloodsport.
How did you get these two mixed up?
I mean, they're so wildly different.
It's like Indiana Jones and Steel Magnolias. They're totally different.
You know what? Those are 2 totally different movies. One is really bad and the other is really good.
It's almost like Star Wars: A New Hope and The Force Awakens.
Oh my God.
And Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, but at least Top Gun Maverick is laughably better than Top Gun. I liked Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun sucks. That movie sucks.
It's okay. It's not great, but man, Top Gun Maverick is so damn good.
It has dynamic storytelling and
so good.
Empathetic or sympathetic characters, and you get invested. Top Gun is just homoerotic volleyball. This guy keeps being an asshole to the tower control people for reasons I don't understand. That one guy with the bad mustache died. I don't care.
His name was fucking Goose, and you put some sympathy on that name, man.
No, his name was Goose. Do you know what kind of loser reject you have to be for your fighter pilot nickname to be Goose?
Be Bob.
It was probably because he had some sort of giant Adam's apple or something stupid, like whatever, Goose.
That's funny as shit.
So no, long story short now, I have no history with Bloodsport. But then when I was doing my research, I was like, oh, this is Van Damme's first actual movie. Cool.
Yeah.
I was like, that's cool. Like, it'd be like, hey, what?
Right.
It would be like, hey, here's, movie X, whatever, I don't know what it is. I'm just coming up with a thing right now off the top of my head, but it's like, hey, do you want to sit down and watch this movie? Well, I've never heard of it. It's Denzel Washington's first ever movie. Oh yeah, I'll watch that. Just for the sake of watching Denzel's first movie.
I think there's vast differences in acting talent here with
Is there?
Jean Claude Van Damme's first and Denzel's first.
Is there? We're not there yet. There may not be.
I think Denzel's first ever acting performance in a school play.
His first grade, he was Tree, and
he did a better job in that than Jean Claude Van Damme did in this. That's just my
we're not there
professional opinion.
Professional. That's the first funny joke you've said on this show. All right, then I think we're there. Tevis, if you have, do you have anything else?
Kumite, 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 kumite.
So, if you don't know what a kumite is, let me break it down for you. Now, wait a minute. They were in Hong Kong, right?
Yes.
So the kumite.
Kowloon City.
The kumite is a secret, invitation-only, underground, full-contact martial arts tournament. That is being hosted by the Yakuza, which, if memory serves, is the Japanese mafia.
Yes.
Okay. And they have partnered with the IFAA, International Fighting Athletics Association.
Yes.
So now we have organized crime and legitimate international sports organization coming together, at least as far as how this movie explains it, to host the Kumite, an illegal, underground, invitation-only, full-contact martial arts tournament where people may in fact die.
That is correct. And also was sponsored by Shao Kahn.
What?
From Mortal Kombat.
Okay, thank you. I thought you were going Mortal Kombat, but
Yeah.
I'm just sitting here going, did I miss something? Because I might have, I don't know. So.
Yeah, because this movie was inspired Mortal Kombat.
Oh, it's one of the inspirations because Jean Claude is Johnny Cage.
Johnny Cage, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm a little angry that we didn't get the Mortal Kombat music in this film.
Well, we'll get there. We're going to get there. Because, well, hold on. Damn it, Tevis, we're going to get there. So, we see captain of some military branch. It's not well defined.
It's the imaginary kind.
So we see Frank Dukes in the gym working the heavy bag, throwing some kicks, and he is a captain of the United States Space Force.
So you're just going to gloss right over the intro montage of all the fighters? You see Chong Li busting those giant blocks of ice.
Oh, yeah.
That was kind of impressive.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I forgot about this.
I almost did.
You can only remember so many montages of people.
This movie is a montage, is all it is.
3 writers.
I knew we were in trouble when during this montage, when you had the black gentleman who is running across the ground, and then he jumps like over the camera, and then they cut and he does this Superman thing over the camera, but then somehow ends up in a tree like a monkey and is chopping the coconuts
with his hands. Oh, God.
And I was like,
there's a reason I forgot a lot of this.
Oh.
I believe that was the capoeira fighter.
Sure. We'll see more of him.
Also, I'm glad you decided to use the description like a monkey when you could have gone. I was going to go for jungle cat, but
well, the reason
so below the description of this movie are 2 links. One will take you to our merch store, and the other will take you to a list of bingo cards so you can play TicketPrice bingo as you listen. And I'm pretty sure, regardless of the card you pick, there's going to be a tile that says Tevis gets racial. If you want to just go ahead and take your bingo dauber and just blot that one in.
You could do it a couple times. But the only reason I say that he does get in the tree like a monkey is because
he's black.
Of later in the film when he's actually fighting.
Yeah, the capoeira style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Didn't like it.
The capoeira style?
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to like the capoeira style. You obviously hated Eddie every time you went to the arcade and played Tekken.
No, wait, which one was Eddie?
He fought the breakdance style.
I don't remember Eddie. I'm going to have to look that up now.
He was I think, when we would have been playing in the arcade, he was the only black character in Tekken.
Oh, there he is. Okay, yeah, Eddie Gordo.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I didn't like him.
Yeah, we all guessed. Wait, everyone gasping in shock. Now that we're past that.
Now I got to look up the characters from Tekken.
No, you don't.
I'm looking up now. You got me going.
On Tekken?
On Tekken.
Okay.
I haven't played Tekken in forever.
Yeah, me neither.
Who was the one that was drunk?
Oh, Fei Li or some. No.
That was my go-to.
Yeah, the Drunken Master.
Yeah.
Well, let me give you a hint. That one is Asian. And he has a gourd. He's got the gourd flask.
Yes.
Look, if you're playing Tekken and you're not playing Brian, what are you doing with your life?
Brian?
Brian Fury, I believe his name is.
Brian? Brian Fury, there he is. Okay. I don't know who the fuck Brian is.
You don't know Tekken. To our Tekken fans out there, you know, if you're not playing Brian, what are you doing?
Who was the tiger guy?
King. The professional wrestler.
I fucking hated him.
I liked King because I was a fan of wrestling, but I could never do the button combos at the arcade to pull off. And then I'd go up against somebody who could play King, and I'm like, he just hit me with a tornado DDT. How the shit do I do that? Oh God, I'm on the ground. He just picked me up and gave me a power bomb. What am I playing? No, King was cool. Can we get back to this, please?
Yes, back.
Did you find your character, by the way?
No, I didn't. Back to
so yeah,
Mortal Kombat. Or sorry, Bloodsport.
Bloodsport.
Mortal Kombat.
Can I get back to Frank Dukes, captain of the Space Force, please? You're definitely gonna get a copyright struck if you keep this going.
Okay, sorry.
There might not be a more protected piece of music than the Mortal Kombat movie theme.
That's a fucking fantastic song.
It bangs hard.
Yes, it does.
It gives me the Amazon.
Absolutely.
It just holds me down, and I'm just there for the ride.
Do to me what you will.
Can I get back to this, please? We see Frank Dukes. He is going on leave soon, and he's requested leave, and he has already got it approved to go to the Hong Kong. However, a messenger arrives asking him to go to his CO's office so they can discuss the reasons for him wanting to go to Hong Kong for his leave. Frank Dukes, smelling a rat, realizing the jig is up, he's like, okay, I just finished my workout, let me take a shower, and I'll be right there. Then, somehow, escapes from the shower.
Yeah, was there windows in this shower?
Or another door, and the guy guarding him just sucks. I'm not sure which.
Yeah, it was weird. He's fully clothed and dry, and he's running across the base.
Yeah, he is. He has like his duffel bag with him. I'm just like...
And this guy is standing outside the shower like a jackass waiting for naked Jean Claude to come out.
Yeah, as we all were.
Oh, yeah. I was waiting, too. That's... Where the hell is my naked Jean Claude Van Damme?
It's the only anticipation this movie had.
Yes.
But yeah, there's fully clothed, bag in hand. He even had his little cap on.
Okay. I had to see full dick of Nosferatu.
You did?
You remember? He stands up in the
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Coffin.
But there's a lot of shadow there.
Yeah, not enough. But we don't get partial dick.
He wasn't ready to go full dick.
I'm annoyed. So right here, I'm already.
He's not Sylvester Stallone going full scrotum in Demolition Man. Although, again, I don't think at the time they were ready for the technology to show as much as it shows today. Like Jaws, that poor lady.
Yeah, so this already starts off me out on a bad note.
But Frank escapes and makes it to the Hong Kong. Well, no, first he goes back to California, right? To visit his old master.
Yes.
To visit his Shidoshi.
What was it? Sinzo Tanaka.
Yes, his Shidoshi.
Do you know who that guy was?
I recognized him, but I couldn't tell you why.
He was Lao She in Temple of Doom. At the beginning of Temple of Doom in the nightclub.
Okay.
Where Indiana Jones drinks the poison and he pulls the Lao She pulls out this little vial and he sets it down and he's like, "What's that?" He goes, "Antidote." Like, for what? For the poison you just drank, Dr. Jones. And they laugh. And that was it. But I still remember that guy. As soon as I saw him, I'm like, I know who that is.
See, I've seen Temple of Doom once, hated it, and I don't remember hardly anything about it.
Such a good movie.
It's not.
It's great.
It's really not. All right, can I get back?
Yes, go ahead. Sorry.
Where he goes into his Shidoshi's house, sees the Kumite Championship katana sitting on the mantelpiece, and then stares longingly at it. How would you describe this facial expression? What is this look?
It was me when I took too much of the gummy the other night. He does. He sits there and stares at this thing forever.
And then it sends him back in time as he remembers the first time he saw it.
He stared at this thing for so long that Sinzo died.
he just fully died.
Yes, and then we get the backstory.
So we learn Frank Dukes was a young punk, and he and some friends broke into Sinzo's house, and they were going to steal the katana, and they get caught, and the friends leave him high and dry, and he's just standing there, and then Sinzo's son comes in and just kicks him square in the dick.
I love that Sinzo takes that katana and cuts the bill of his hat.
Yeah, he
clean off
the bill of his hat off with the katana.
And the kid is such a great actor. He doesn't even react. He's just like, oh.
Yeah, but he was supposed to do that.
This kid was terrible.
Well, we'll get there as far as this kid. But no, I mean, his direction was to not react.
No, it's good because that's what he did.
You're right, because he's like, oh, you didn't flinch or anything. You have the spirit of a fighter.
Oh,
remember, it's all in the plot.
I know.
Then we get the training montage of Sinzo's son, and Frank is just the punching bag for Sinzo's son. But they become friends, and then the son dies, presumably in a kumite.
Yes. And I'd heard I'd read it somewhere, or I'd heard it on a podcast or something, I can't remember, that the theory is he died. He was the one that Chong Li killed.
Yeah.
In the kumite, but it's never
expressly said, but
no.
I put that together too, or at least that's how I put it together.
Yes.
Because the son does say, I'm gonna fight in the kumite. It's my destiny and whatever. And then they're old enough for him. Time passes, training happens, and they're both old enough for him to have participated in the kumite. And now he's just dead. So it's like, oh no, he died in the kumite. Then we see like the funeral, and we see Frank like, you could train me, and then we get Frank's training montage.
watching this montage, watching anything with this kid, they did this weird dubbing of his voice.
They weirdly dubbed everyone's voice. And I only know that because as I watch this movie, everyone is doing a voiceover of themselves because it's slightly off. No one's voice matches their mouth right.
You're right.
But it's probably because everyone in this movie speaks English as a second language. Some of them do it very well. Most of them don't. Like Jean Claude Van Damme. And they had to voice it over because you can't tell what the hell anyone is saying.
But watching this kid act through all of it, just him trying to deliver dialogue, to his facial expressions, to him in the fight, was like watching David Flair wrestle.
Oh,
it's painful.
And there's our, I thought maybe this one would be,
no,
there's our wrestling reference.
No.
Yeah, it just wasn't good.
No.
And then this poor kid's trying to do a half French accent.
Yeah, it didn't work either.
No.
It was painful.
Yes. It was as painful as when he got kicked square in the dick. That might be my favorite part. Is that little kid just runs over, bam!
It's the most believable.
Got him. Yeah, that might have been, he was ready for full contact kumite.
Yeah, he tried that shit with Chong Li, and that's when Chong Li killed him.
And then there was, he kicked Chong Li in the balls, and Chong Li broke his throat.
It was like Wolverine. Don't kick him in the balls.
He takes that shit personally.
Yeah.
Although at one point in the training montage, Shinzo's son does tell child or young teen Frank, why don't you just quit, Round Eye? Wait, that might be my favorite part. Why don't you just quit, Round Eye? I was like, oh.
I don't know. I kind of like when they had the kid was getting his ass kicked
at school,
and Frank intervenes.
Kind of.
And there's a kid in the background with a Bartles and James t-shirt on. Did you see that?
No,
I was like, oh my God, Bartles and James, like, you're going to school with alcohol t-shirt on? I'm like, okay.
It was, it would have been late 70s.
Yeah.
Or no, mid 70s?
Probably.
I figure there probably would have been roughly 10 years between when Frank fights in the Kumite to when that schoolyard fight goes down.
Yeah, I'd say about 10 years probably.
Yeah, so it probably would have been 78, 79, 80 at the absolute latest. But for him to become a captain, it had to have been 10 years. For him to become a captain in the United States Space Force.
I don't know why I just decided to look up Bartles and James, but they were introduced in 1981.
Okay, wait a minute. So wait.
So yeah,
hold on. So Frank, let's say he's 15, right?
Yeah.
And 15 is 81.
Yeah, that would work.
And this movie goes down in 88.
But if he's a captain,
so that means Frank Dukes would be 23.
Yes.
And the Kumite, that's fine. But he has risen to the rank of captain in these United States of America's Space Force.
Yeah, that sounds about right. With
because it's not like his dad was a West Pointer and he's just getting grandfathered in. He's getting the nepotism treatment. We learn his parents are immigrants and they make what do they make?
Oh, I don't remember.
I can't remember now.
Bartles and James.
They make Bartles and James. Pottery?
Sure.
Something to that effect.
But that makes sense with Mr. Dukes' imagination.
What do you mean?
He makes up all kinds of shit.
Oh, so you're saying that these could be exaggerations?
Yes.
Okay.
Or straight up fucking lies.
That
Which
is another way to put it. You're not wrong.
One, you can take it however you want.
Anyway, we get back to present day where Frank
finally
snaps out of this sword stare down.
The
and I think
Frank, Shinzo's dead. We've already had the funeral and everything.
You've been standing here for 3 days.
What's wrong with you?
Get out of my house. Frank goes to see Shinzo and he's like, Shinzo, are you awake? Can we just appreciate how Shinzo's only emotion displayed towards Frank is disappointment? How many people do you know sleep with their eyes open?
I forgot about that.
Am I wrong?
Yeah.
And it's like,
this guy is an idiot.
I had to pass my 2,000-year family teachings to a moron.
Oh my God.
And if anyone has a problem with the voice we're doing, I assure you, it's film accurate.
Yes, it is.
But he's like, don't worry, Shinzo, or, I'm going to go fight in the Kumite, and I'm going to fight for your honor, and I'm going to make it happen. And he's like, I don't care. Get out of my house. So, Frank makes it to the Hong Kong, where he goes to a hotel that's been reserved. He's got a room reserved for him, and he goes there. And there is a large American man, and he's American because he's wearing a Jack Daniels t-shirt and headband.
And Harley Davidson, too. He's sporting some Harley Davidson shit.
Oh, his headband's Harley. Yeah. Yes. Harley Davidson headband. But his shirt is Jack Daniels.
Oh, yeah.
And he's got like a denim jacket over it.
Of course.
And he's kind of, he's not fat, but he's like a big guy.
Oh, he's
tall, but he's not like, he has no physique. He's just a big guy.
He's thick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mess with him.
Oh, no. Donald Gibb.
But yeah, I'm not going to mess with him. But at the same time, he's not winning any pose-offs,
And he's not a finesse fighter.
He's a grizzly bear.
Yes.
Yeah. Both in style and shape.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love this character. I think he's cool.
See, so when we first meet him, they're on the bus headed to the hotel. And he doesn't harass, but he's just real obnoxious to that lady.
Yes.
And then he just proceeds to be more obnoxious. I went, and there's the American, and everyone hates this guy. And then he just kind of like a fungus. He has this endearing charm that slowly grows on you, and now your feet stink.
Yeah, because honestly, when I first sat down and watched this, I was like, oh, this is going to be one of his rivals.
Yeah.
That's where I thought they were going with it.
Yeah, me too.
But then it switches when they play the video game.
So then they're playing a karate fighter arcade game.
It's Karate Champ.
There it is. I was close.
I used to play that all the freaking time.
I recognized it, but I've never played it. But I'll tell you this right now. Frank, his own words, has never played this game before. Karate Champ doesn't have buttons. It just has like 2 joysticks, and you just have to know how to move them.
Yeah.
His character wouldn't have walked forward in that game if he had never played it before. He's doing jump kicks, and he did like a judo throw or some shit. Like,
well, yeah, because if you're good in the video game, then you're good at it.
But if you're good at it in real life, you're just good at it in the video game too. Yeah, and
absolutely. That's how that works.
But he beats Jackson like 3 times, and they become bros. They're game bros.
Yeah.
They game together. They're bros now. And then we meet the American handler. Not that he is American. He is very much Chinese. But he's got like a greasy mullet and sunglasses and just a general Western attire. And he is the Kumite handler for the Western fighters. Which apparently is just Frank Dukes and Jackson.
Is that the only 2 there were? Yes.
I think
right.
it is.
Yeah, you're right.
And I just went, oh, I just got real Short Round vibes from this guy. Speaking of Temple of Doom,
A little bit.
like if Short Round just grew up and then he was like, man, fossils are lame. Karate and cocaine and women are cool.
That's where it's at.
When he hit puberty, basically.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, oh, look, dirt and digging. Oh, cocaine and hookers. Right?
He
realized what was cool and stopped hanging out with Dr. Jones, who was still being kind of a predator to his students. And, really, if your options are rob graves with a pedo or
I can't argue with
that. Or spend your time.
I was 15. I was in love.
or you just help people organize an illegal karate tournament and then spend your downtime drowning in cocaine and hookers. One of these is better than the other.
Yeah, I'll take option B.
All right. So they're getting ready. They go to the venue where they turn in their cards or whatever, and they don't believe in Frank's credentials. I've cracked myself up. They hear Frank's story and they get his ID card or whatever, his invitation card, and they go, this seems a little bit like bullshit.
That's funny you say that. That was my feeling at the end of this movie. It's like, did I step in something? As I smell poopy.
So Frank proves his legitimacy by performing his master's famed death touch. And so they bring out a bunch of bricks, and it's like it's a table of bricks stacked like 4 or 5 high. And according to how this little test is going to work, Frank should be able to channel his chi or something and hit the stack of bricks to make one of the bricks break in any order. He's just like, he's like, all right, I'm going to break this brick. And they're like, no, break the brick on the bottom of one of the stacks. And so then Frank does it and the bottom brick explodes. And they're like, there you go. There's your proof. And everyone's happy. Now,
smells in here.
We have seen the death touch. You would think from a storytelling perspective, this ancient secret technique would matter literally at any other point in this movie, possibly at some sort of dramatic climax. Am I wrong in saying this?
No.
Okay.
No, you were not.
Well, good, because it never comes up again, and we're just going to move on.
Yeah.
Okay. Although it possibly comes up one other time, and I only say that because Jean Claude makes the same "I am pooping and something is wrong" face.
Well, he does that a lot through this movie.
Yes, he does. So invitation is accepted. They go back to the hotel where we see a blonde American woman getting harassed by one of the other fighters with a huge miss-sized gold tooth. You're laughing. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
She's trying to get information. Come to find out, she is an investigative reporter. We have another one of these types, apparently. And she's trying to learn and do a story about the Kumite. And this guy is like, no, I just kind of own you now, and I'm going to take you back to my hotel room, and we're going to do the deed. And she's like, no, that's no. He's like, well, you don't really have rights in this country, so she fights back, calls him some names, to which this guy performs the slowest, largest wind-up I've ever seen for a slap. It took about as long as Frank's flashback. And then as his hand reaches its crux, where eventually he would start coming forward with the slap, because I think physically his arm could not go backwards any farther. A hand grabs that guy's wrist and stops him from what was going to be the mother of all slaps.
The death slap.
The death slap. The slap-a-ho maneuver. And it's Frank. And then they make some sort of game wager where if Frank can grab a coin out of this guy's palm before the guy closes his hand, you are disgustedly shaking your head. And I'm not even done. Then, you know, if the guy still has the coin, he takes the woman. If Frank gets the coin, Frank takes the woman. And the woman has no rights or say or any say in what's about to happen to her.
No, absolutely not.
She just has to take it, apparently.
She's just property.
Being settled over by a bet with a coin. So we see the guy close his hand and we see Frank's hand come, but I'm pretty sure the timing on this wasn't right. I'm not really sure. But then the guy's like, ha, 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 you lose. And Frank's like, did I? Check your hand. Not only is his hand not empty, it has a coin in it, but it's a different coin. Frank apparently was so fast, he not only took the coin out of the guy's hand before he could close his fingers, he replaced it with a different coin.
Yeah.
That's mad skill.
Yeah.
Mad skill.
Yeah.
Now, who did it better? You're struggling with your words, so let me...
This...
Yes.
It's not just this part. It's the whole movie.
We're just talking about this part, though.
But it's just... Frank Dukes is so good at everything.
Obviously.
It's annoying as hell.
Yes.
I think I would have been better off just watching the film and not reading up on Mr. Ducks.
Well, unfortunately, we have a show to do, which requires us to do a smidgen of research. Now, but my question is still, who did it better? Frank Dukes in Bloodsport or the Waco Kid in Blazing Saddles?
Waco Kid. Absolutely.
Put your hands on either side of that king. See if you grab it before I do and he pulls it out of his holster.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that scene?
It's been a long time since I watched Blazing Saddles.
Shame. Trust me, it's Blazing Saddles.
So, Frank Dukes wrote a memoir.
Oh my God.
Yes.
He can write?
Well, I'm sure he just spoke and the words were filled on the page by his magic speak.
Hey, he's the only American to have learned, by his own words, ninjutsu from an exiled Chinese master. Except again, like the Yakuza, ninjutsu is a Japanese martial arts form, not Chinese, Frank. Who is still alive, and I hope he hears this.
So apparently, in his memoir, he wrote, when the boy reached 16 years of age, Tanaka brought him to Japan to the legendary Ninja Land. There, the boy's outstanding abilities shocked and pleased the ninja community when he tested for the right to call himself ninja. He was just
Wait.
so...
No, I guess Sinzo would be Japanese. That's a Japanese name.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, this movie gets real loosey-goosey with labeling things as Chinese or Japanese.
Yeah. But he just builds himself up to be like just so naturally gifted with everything.
I'm surprised he's probably listening right now and is about to assassinate both of us.
Hanging out in the rafters somewhere. Drops down.
I hope he doesn't knock the blood pressure, the sex blood pressure cuff off the rafters. We took a long time to hang that up.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say we would blind him with powder, but he would still find a way to get to us.
He can blind fight.
It's just, it's too much.
Also, wait, it's his own memoir, and he words it when the boy was...
Yeah, because I have it as he's wrote, and in parentheses and everything. I took it straight from the website. When the boy reached 16 years of age.
You know, as someone who's read a few autobiographies about legitimately interesting people who did actual things in their lives, normally they would just say, when I turned 16.
Yeah. Frank Dukes comes off to me as a person who refers to himself in third person.
I feel that.
When he goes to a restaurant, Frank Dukes would like a cup of coffee, please. Frank Dukes will have the Grand Slam breakfast.
Now, wait a minute. That means he's at a Denny's.
Yes.
And if he's at a Denny's, then more than likely I'm at a table not far away from him. I'm going to have to fight a ninja master.
Yeah.
For disrespecting the waitstaff at my Denny's.
Well, then they'll be like, well, sorry, we only have one plate of Grand Slam breakfast left. And that gentleman over there, he didn't tell me his name like an asshole, so I don't know what his name is. But Mr. Dukes, you will have to fight that gentleman.
And then I'm just going to stand up. I'm going to take my flannel jacket off, take my shirt off, flex, put my flannel jacket back on, obviously.
Yeah.
And then we'll fight.
Yeah, absolutely. And you just got to do some like
just
weird in slow motion.
Yeah,
you got to do
obviously.
that in slow motion.
You know, there was a time in college, I had this break in between classes, and it was like 2 hours. It wasn't a great semester, but every day I went to class, and during this break, I just went down the road to a Denny's and had brunch.
Okay.
And I say brunch because it's past breakfast. It's not quite lunch. It was legitimately in that middle period, right? And I went there so frequently. Typically, the two morning waitresses were B and Dee Dee, and they knew me, and they were like, "Oh, hey, Jake, just sit wherever." I was like, "Okay." And then one of them would come over. "You want your usual, hun?" "Yeah." And sometimes they would take a break and they'd join me at my booth because I was always by myself because I'm the only asshole who inadvertently scheduled a 2-hour break in the morning. It wasn't the classes did not line up as I had hoped they would.
I've been there.
So yeah, and you know what? Going to my restaurant and talking to the waitresses, and we were all on a first name basis. I was never brought a menu. It was always your usual. I had a usual. That was the single greatest culinary moment of my life. And I long to return to those days.
Just keep going to the same place over and over again.
How many breakfast places do we have in proximity?
1, 2.
Who?
2.
Are you counting the McDonald's?
No. We have the Hy-Vee.
Gross.
And
that food sucks.
And we have Gray's.
And their food is better than Hy-Vee's, but also kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Okay, tangent. You know what pisses me off? And it's why I stopped. It's one of the reasons I stopped going to the truck stop diner. They do the thing that everyone does, and it pisses me off. I'm a big pancake guy.
Okay.
Obviously, look at my body, and you can tell I'm a big pancake guy.
You're not built like Frank Dukes.
Real life Frank Dukes, I think I am. I've seen pictures of that goofy looking motherfucker. Anywho, What is it with diners? They don't get it. You order a pancake. I just want a pancake. Maybe they call it a flapjack, or, maybe they sell it by a short stack, long stack, whatever. They make the pancake the exact same size as the plate it is served on. Like I'm supposed to be thankful that I'm getting this larger portion. When in reality, I'm not thankful. I'm really irritated because when I go to put syrup on my pancake, the syrup has nowhere to spill over onto because there's no plate. There's no rim or lip to catch the cascade of the syrup. So now it's just all over the table, in my hands, and my lap like an asshole. Stop making your pancakes the same size as your goddamn plates.
Okay.
I will stop going to a place if that is how they serve their pancakes.
If you were Frank Dukes, they wouldn't serve you the pancake that way.
Well, if I was Frank Dukes, presumably I would just ninja assassinate everyone involved in the transaction.
Yeah.
Well, no, if I was Frank Dukes, I would pour the syrup and then with knife and fork, cut the pancake apart and eat it so quickly that the syrup never has time to flow over the side.
It doesn't even actually get out of the jar.
As soon as the first drop of syrup, I let the bottle go. So it's now free falling, but my hands are moving so quickly. I cut up, eat the pancake, then catch the falling bottle and set it upright again.
Absolutely.
Because I too am a captain in the United States Space Force. Or whatever branch he was in.
I will replace that quarter with a nickel from 20 feet away.
That's right. I'm going to throw it. So, it's the next day, and it is day 1 of the Kumite. Wait. Do you feel that?
No.
There's like a breeze. Is that fresh air? No. I think this movie is about to give us some fresh air.
No way. No way.
The Kumite starts. There's some dialogue. I don't really remember what they say because it doesn't matter.
All they say is Kumite, Kumite.
Yeah, but that was cool.
Kumite.
Did that not help?
A group Fight to survive.
A group of people just like chant.
Oh, yeah.
Like it gets you into it. Then we
Chongli.
But we get a montage of round 1, Mortal Kombat round 1, fight. And we get round 1 of the Kumite. This was cool as hell. The music was good. The action was good.
I honestly enjoyed it.
You know what I also really liked? It felt like I was watching a martial arts tournament. We had all different kinds of people. Now, we know, obviously, who Frank Dukes is. We know who Jackson is. We know who Chong Li, the big bad, is. But there's also a bunch of people that we don't really know who they are. And that's okay. You're not going to know everybody in a tournament. But we see different heights, weights, nationalities. We see a plethora of different martial arts styles. It is a true mixed martial arts tournament.
Yes, it is.
And this was cool.
It reminded me a lot of UFC when it first started.
When it was good?
When it was good.
Yeah.
Fucking brutal.
And now everyone just kind of does the same mishmash of thing. And you can't tell any of the fighters apart. No one has a unique look. No one has a unique style. It's just UFC.
Yeah. Just go in and punch and kick and
like, oh, look, there's Hoist Gracie in full gi.
Oh, yeah.
But then bottle of Jack still in hand is Tank Abbott.
Absolutely.
But then here comes here comes world tournament champion wrestler damn it.
Ken Shamrock?
Well, Shamrock. Don Fry.
Dan Severn was in there too.
Dan Severn. Don Fry was. You seen that clip? I think it's in Pride, maybe, where it's Don and that I think it's a Japanese fighter, and they end up just clinching up and just start hammering each other with elbows.
No, I haven't
It's
seen
the
that.
most horrifying thing you'll ever see.
Who was the big sumo guy? Oh my God. He was just a monster man. Like, I mean, he was fat and tall, and I cannot remember his name. But no, I loved the UFC when it first came about.
When it was still gritty.
Yes.
Hold on. We're going to edit a lot of this out, don't worry, but you've got to see this. Oh my God. How do I restart it?
Emmanuel Yarborough. That's who it was.
The big guy?
Yeah.
Watch this clip.
That dude has an amazing mustache.
Don Fry.
Jesus Christ.
How either of them stay on their feet, I don't understand. What I'm filled with watching this is a very visceral fear.
Holy shit. Yeah, there's no finesse here at all. It's just
You have two bulls locking horns, and someone is going to go down.
do you know who won that?
No, we'd have to look it up. Given the brain damage I'm sure they both suffered, I don't know if there was a winner.
Holy shit. Now they're winded.
Well, yeah.
Oh, there they go down. Oh, that was a knee to the eye.
Well, you know, really the underrated pairing. Everyone talks about peanut butter and chocolate and whatever. No one talks about knees and eyes. I don't remember that part of the head, shoulders, knees, and toes song. And then the knee bone's connected to the ocular socket. The ocular socket's connected to the ring mat.
Holy shit. That is fucking outstanding. Why didn't we get that in this montage?
I don't even know if that had happened yet.
We need to see that. I want to see Chung Lee just beating the fuck out of somebody like that.
Yeah. But that would require someone to be able to stand up and return it.
It's true.
But no, this montage was cool because we had all these different people. They looked different. They had all kinds of different styles. There was one guy that was also basically just Sagat from Street Fighter. He had that real classic high fist Muay Thai style.
Yes.
But it was cool.
Who's the guy that looked like he was driving a motorcycle?
That's the Muay Thai guy
Okay,
with
that's
the
what I
high
thought.
fist.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he had like the kickboxer shorts.
Yes. And then you had the guy that was jumping around on all fours.
The capoeira guy.
Like a,
You had the really big guy.
yes.
The really big guy.
Yes. I liked him.
Yeah.
He was cool.
But
But I liked all these guys. I mean, it was cool.
That's the thing. None of them talk, which probably helps. But just from their look, how they fight, the stuff they get to do, you kind of get a feel for all of them as individual characters, as individual participants
absolutely.
in this tournament. And it was cool.
Yeah, it's not just, oh, here's no name guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And but you know, we see Jackson get in there for round 1 and he wins. And then we see Chong Li get in there, and Chong Li holds like all the records
Oh, yeah.
in Kumite. And then he breaks his own record and sets an IFAA/Yakuza Kumite record for fastest knockout.
But not for long.
Then Frank Dukes gets in there,
Of course.
and he is squared off against Goldtooth Man. To which Frank then immediately breaks the world record.
Of course.
Immediately.
Yeah. Before he even fights.
Yeah, it was already broken.
Yeah, it was already broken. He already broke it.
And so that guy's out. But we see the first round of the Kumite, and now I'm like, this is cool. And then people started to talk again. Then this pesky thing called dialogue got in the way.
Dialogue plot.
So we learn that there are 2 FBI agents on the hunt for Frank Dukes because the United States military and its Space Force have spent too much time and money honing Frank into an instrument of military use, and they can't afford him to get hurt or killed in the Kumite, so they have come to take him back with very comically large, goofy-looking tasers.
I thought they were flashlights at first. or fleshlights at first.
Relax, Frank. I don't even. Not even Frank's that big.
These things were fucking ridiculous.
Well, Frank might be that big.
Yeah,
it is Frank Dukes after all.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. John Hamm be damned.
The award for the Excellence in Penis Award. So, however, they make a comment to Frank when they approach him. Don't make this hard. You know, we don't want to have to give you 50,000 volts. They give a very specific number. Don't make us give you 50,000 volts. I'm not an electrician, but that sounded like a lot.
Yeah.
So Tevis, do me a favor if you would, please. Would you look up how many volts were in the Jurassic Park electric fence for me? While you do that, I will read what happens to the human body if it were to receive 50,000 volts. Because I looked it up. 50,000 volts to the human body is enough to cause severe burns, muscle contractions, and a shockingly high possibility of killing you.
Yeah.
So they have tasers that will severely burn you, mess your muscles all up, and very potentially kill you. Now, luckily, I'm pretty sure Frank Dukes has 3 hearts. So, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
But a normal mortal man will probably die.
The electric fences in Jurassic Park, 10,000 volts.
Wait, oh my God. They were going to give Frank 5 times the amount of voltage that it was deemed necessary to stop a Tyrannosaurus Rex, which, knowing what we know about Frank Duke, was probably mathematically accurate.
Yeah, because 10,000 volts, that's nothing. Tim fucking survived 10,000 volts. He just got a bad hairdo out of the deal.
I mean, he did require CPR, and his hands had severe burns.
That's true. But nothing ice cream couldn't fix.
That's true. Well, it's because his sister took all the Jell-O, and the bitch didn't eat it. She just shook it off of her spoon. Oh, selfish. Wait, for some reason, I thought T-Rex was 100, and I was going to make a joke about if they had both used their tasers, they could have stopped the T-Rex. They could have stopped Rexy. No, apparently, Frank Dukes has the strength of 5 Rexes.
Absolutely.
What the
I mean, it's Frank Dukes. He would probably take the 50,000 volts and then just turn into like Goro or some shit.
He would look like Zach Galifianakis' character when he gets tased in the face in The Hangover. He would just take it and start walking towards them.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This joke got so much better and I wasn't prepared for it.
Yeah, he took that 50,000 volts and turned into Raiden. And then I went to the underworld.
That's right.
And fought Shao Kahn.
And I said, Quan Chi, you little bitch. Our Mortal Kombat fans know exactly what I'm doing, by the way. Did we get this really goofy police chase?
Oh my God. Okay. Before I even watched this movie, I was just flipping through TikTok. And this scene came up. But somebody had dubbed the Mentos commercial to it.
I'm picturing it in my head. It were
fucking bits.
Mentos freshness. Haja.
Especially when he gets in that, after they fall into the river, the agents fall into the river, and Dukes is in that little taxi trolley thing, and he gets
like
up
a
and
tuk-tuk.
He gets up and he waves, and he's like, "Hey,
Mentos, the fresh maker."
I fucking lost it.
You're gonna have to show me that later.
Hell yeah!
Oh my God!
I'll put it up on our TikTok.
I also saw that we had the trailer for Scorpion King 3. That made me laugh. So Frank continues talking to the reporter and obviously sleeps with her.
Oh, of course.
And then the next morning, we see Frank. He goes full back for us. Now, I say this as a 100% heterosexual male who is wildly comfortable with his own sexuality. Jean Claude has a fantastic ass.
Oh, Jean Claude has a fantastic everything.
Well, I didn't see his penis. Maybe it's
well, it might be.
Maybe he has the stereotypical French pee-pee.
It might be. I don't know.
It's a pee-pee.
But it got the job done because fucking Janice was happy.
Yeah, and he wears bikini briefs.
Thank God they weren't whitey tighties.
Well, no, they were a fashionable like color, but
Yeah.
how do I put this? No, these were more of a bikini brief style.
Yeah.
Judging by their fit, or they're a size or two too small.
Probably. But if you're built like that, absolutely.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah, Jean Claude's fantastic looking in this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, in every movie that he's done. I'm not just saying this movie, but I know when I write my memoir and it gets turned into a movie, I want someone like Jean Claude Van Damme to portray me.
That's fair and accurate.
Maybe, Zac Efron, maybe Brad Pitt, Ryan Gosling.
Most of these people are older than you are.
Ryan Gosling's not older than me.
Brad Pitt is.
Probably. But still, I mean, that's how I feel like I look
to
the world.
Yeah.
So I want that to be accurately represented in my movie.
I got it.
Zach Galifianakis.
The role of Tevis, played by Michael B. Jordan.
Yes. Yes. See? I mean, come on.
And then we get day 2 of the Kumite. Now the reporter cons her way in and sees it. And she is horrified at the barbarian display she is witnessing. Question. She is a investigative journalist who has snuck her way in to an illegal underground full contact fighting tournament, and she knows from the rumors that people get hurt and sometimes killed in this. What was she expecting to find?
Not sure. I mean, yeah, I don't. She needs to be gone. Like this whole
side story.
Side story's dumb.
Agreed. But it's not like the exhibition on display in day 2, the one she saw, was so over the top violent or graphic that it would you'd clutch your pearls. No, so there were some really good hits, obviously. Yeah. That's what the tournament is, but I don't really know what she's freaking out about.
No. It was a standard fight.
Jackson took a cheap shot, and got hospitalized. We're getting there, but I mean, there's nothing that goes down that she should just be mortified over.
No, I don't think so.
Yes, I am the UFC beat reporter for the New York Times, and I went to this match and everyone went, yeah, it was fine. It was fine. It was like a 3 out of 5 star showcase of all the matches, but I was just, my brain melted and I was horrified by the violence. I'm like, what do you think you're about to see?
I cannot believe this guy had a bloody nose.
Right?
It's just the most disgusting thing I've ever seen.
Then that guy tackled the other guy and punched him in the face.
Holy shit, are you serious?
And everyone went, yeah, it's called a double leg takedown into a full mount. We have names for these things because that's what you do.
So this was so funny. She sneaks into this thing
as some guy's date.
Yes. And she's trying to be secretive,
inconspicuous,
but then she pulls out this giant tape recorder,
50,000 volts, baby.
I'm just like, okay, yeah, that's being real sneaky there, gal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
no, this whole subplot with her and the romantic thing
It's real bad.
it's real bad.
So we see Dukes fight the really big guy.
The splits.
Well, we'll get there because we've missed a lot of them, but don't worry. I may or may not have been keeping a running tally that I called the splits counter.
Okay.
So we'll get there at the end. But we see him fight. But this was a cool fight. I mean, you just had some big guy who could take the punishment, and he had trouble landing the big hits. But when he did, they obviously rocked Dukes, and it was fine. It was cool. Now, Dukes, almost out of necessity, performs what seems to be the death touch to this guy's midsection. He does the arm motion. He does the stupid face. He does the
Great.
He does the whole thing.
Great facial work.
Not only does it just kind of stagger this guy back a couple of steps, it doesn't even end the fight.
No, he dies like 3 days later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What we don't know is that there was a rupture in his spleen
Absolutely.
that would go undiagnosed until he died. But if that was so, the death touch never comes up again. Possibly in this fight it does, but if that was it, it does nothing.
You're not wrong.
Okay. So Frank ends up beating the big guy.
3 riders.
He's 3 right. And then we see Jackson get in the ring with Chong Li, the reigning champion. Actually, I thought this was cool because Jackson gets in there with a real quick barrage of heavy blows. It's like Chong Li wasn't expecting this level of aggression or power. And then instead of finishing the fight, Jackson parades around the ring and taunts the audience.
Yeah.
He'd been watching a little too much Hogan, I think.
Yeah. A little bit, yeah.
And then Chong Li gets up and beats the Jesus out of him. I hear that Jackson was a deeply religious fellow before this fight, and then Jesus was beaten out of him.
Yeah, I didn't like this. Okay. The reason I didn't like this, either Jackson fights smart or Chong Li is just a badass. One or the other.
Yeah.
Jackson wins. I mean, Jackson would have won.
If he had just not stopped,
Yeah.
Jackson would have won, and the final round would have been Jackson Dukes.
Absolutely. But so he beats him and he gets him down on the ground, and then he just parades around the ring and is like, yeah, look at me. Woo, yeah. Woo. And I'm left going, what the fuck are you doing, you idiot? And that's not a good, it's not a good feeling to have for one of the characters you're supposed to be sympathetic for.
Yeah.
Like,
and
he should have just went in there, got a few good hits in, and then just got his ass kicked.
yeah, because now it does undercut your big bad a little bit, doesn't it?
It does.
Because you're like, well, Jackson almost beat him, so Frank Dukes is obviously going to beat him.
Yeah, it undercuts it a lot, and maybe even have Chong Li do. And there's no illegal moves in this fight, but do like a cheap shot, like when he does
Mongolian nut twist,
something. Yeah, rip that sumbitch off like a paper towel, But
the Moscow shaft grab.
But yeah, do something other than this, because this totally,
the Romanian hole punch.
It like you said, it undercuts the villain, and it just makes the guy that we are rooting for look like an idiot. And
the Tanzanian haircut.
How many more of these you got?
Give me a minute.
Okay.
It's really just
Budapest ball bust.
Now you're getting it.
Oh yeah, this is fun.
You need name of place,
Hong Kong cock grab,
and then some sort of action. You need noun, verb, and that's pretty much it.
The Australian ass punch.
No, I like the Tanzanian hole punch, or what was it, the Romanian hole punch? It was a Tanzanian haircut, which definitely involves the pubic region, and then the Romanian hole punch.
I like the hole punch one.
Yeah, you do. Wait, are you saying you, in fact, are a fan of the Romanian hole punch?
Absolutely.
So right now, I want everyone to just sit quietly for a minute, as I have a special message for an audience of one. Jennifer Connelly, I know you're listening. This man is single, ready to mingle, and is a fan of the Romanian hole punch.
Yes, I am.
Jen, come on.
You have
Email
my
us.
email. Come on.
We have sent copious letters.
I mean, my MySpace is up there. Come on.
What song do you have playing on your page right now?
Kumite, 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 kumite.
Yep, there it is. You're about to be a very lucky man.
Hang on, I gotta check my
People
MySpace.
would pay millions to have Jennifer Connelly Romanian hole punch them. Is this the dumbest bit we've ever done?
I don't know. We've done a lot.
We do a lot of stupid things. All right. Now, Jackson's hospitalized. In the room, Dukes is just in the room. And then his girlfriend shows up. They start arguing. I like how the doctor goes, "Hey, shut the hell up or get out."
Yeah. I'm trying to check this man, and you guys are being assholes. Leave.
I actually really appreciated that, if I'm being honest.
I did too.
She doesn't want him to fight because she doesn't want to see him get hurt. He must fight because his sensei's honor is at stake, and now his friend has been wounded, and blah, blah, blah. And it's on. Then the police tried. Oh, no, I'm sorry. First, we get the conflicted montage.
This sad on a bus.
Sad in his hotel room. Sad on some gargoyle like Batman meditating over the city.
Was this when he was doing the splits?
Yes.
This shot was incredible. It looked...
Well, even a blind squirrel finds a nut.
No,
even a blind squirrel receives a Moscow shaft grab.
But no, it was so cool with overlooking the city, and he's on this temple or whatever doing the splits and doing his little hand thing, and it was beautiful. I just gotta say it was beautiful. But when the director said, "Okay, in this scene, you're going to be sitting in this bus seat. I need you to think about the events of the last few days and express sadness and
sorrow,
confliction," and he just can't do it. It just doesn't work. It's like he's trying to find out who farted on the bus.
And the culprit was him all along.
He's just looking around like, there's something. Is it on my boot?
Hey, he was top of his class and smell the fart acting.
Is it this story that smells like shit?
No, it's the soundtrack.
Yeah, it's coming from that guy over there
behind the camera.
His name is Dukes.
Oh, it's our consultant. It's coming from the consultant's chair.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. So yeah, we get our conflicted montage. Then Frank decides he's got to do it, and he starts walking down the alleyway where he gets jumped by cops. So he beats the cops up. Then the agents, the FBI agents, have their 50,000 volt tasers out, and they're like, "Come on, Frank." He's like, "No, I'm not. Tase me. I don't care." So one of them pulls the trigger. I think it's Forrest Whitaker. Pulls the trigger. The prongs come out. And Frank grabs a metal trash can lid and not only blocks the tasers, but deflects them into two other cops. And they are then horribly electrified.
They burst into flames.
Like the guys on Siphon Filter.
Yes. Yeah, when he picked up that trash can, I was like, wait a minute. Am I watching Captain America?
Now,
what the hell?
Is aluminum conductive?
Not when it, go ting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it didn't have time to.
The electricity wasn't fast enough.
Yeah, he was quicker than the electricity.
You know what? That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is so fast. He can stick a fork in an outlet and be gone before the electricity gets to him.
He's so fast. They say Frank Dukes can't die.
Really?
Death can't catch up to him.
Death can't find him?
Death can't catch him. So, now, Frank goes to the final championship Kumite match. between him and Chong Li, and he has an entourage of FBI agents, reporter girlfriend, and cops.
Yeah, because the FBI agents are like, well, I mean, we don't have any way of actually detaining him. Like,
He
we don't have.
deflected their taser, and those guys, I'm pretty sure, died.
Yeah, and there's only one shot apparently on those tasers because they can't reload it and just shoot him with it again.
Or his partner shoot his.
Yeah. So they're like, well, fuck it.
We tried.
Let's watch this fight.
So we get the big championship fight where Frank Dukes almost immediately wipes the floor with Chung Li's face.
I'm honestly surprised there was even a fight.
To which then Chung Li pulls a little powder tablet out of his tights, like professional wrestling,
Fucking Alka-Seltzer.
grinds it up, and throws it in Frank's eyes, which everyone sees. How do I put this? Do these fights have no rules?
Right. No.
Could you just come in and cast the magic spell gun and just win?
Yes, but
Because God and everyone saw this huge white cloud of smoke blind Frank.
yeah, because the referee is even like waving the air.
Yeah, he's like, oh God, this is my asthma.
Damn it, what is this?
My asthma. And he fans the air with his hands.
Smells like Alka-Seltzer.
So now, with Frank blinded, Chong Li gets a comeback, starts beating up Frank. Then Frank remembers his training and that his Shidoshi.
Senzo Tanaka.
Yes, but his title was Shidoshi.
Yeah, but his name is Senzo.
Yes. But I clearly said, but he remembered the training from his Shidoshi. You can't say his Senzo. He doesn't own Senzo.
Do you know?
I think he owns the reporter lady as long as they stay in Hong Kong.
Oh, yeah.
But he doesn't own Senzo.
So apparently there were reporters that looked into all this bullshit.
Save that for when we talk about Frank.
Okay.
So that is a Frank Dukes conversation. We're not there yet.
Okay.
So Frank remembers that he doesn't need his eyes and he has daredevil-like senses. And he blocks every strike and fights back and beats Chong Li and becomes the champion and receives his Kumite Championship katana.
The Jean Claude Van Damme acting blind is fabulous. I fucking thought it was Jamie Foxx playing Ray Charles.
Ray Charles.
So good.
I think he did the Ray Charles head motion at one point.
Yeah, absolutely. That's when he was catching all those fists.
Is this the meanest joke we've ever done?
Probably, yes.
Sorry, Ray. So he wins, and it's all hugs and kisses. Frank goes back to the hospital where Jackson has recovered consciousness and is healing, and he returns Jackson's Harley-Davidson headband, and they exchange I love you brothers. They have known each other for 3 days.
Yes.
I love you, brother. And then they kiss each other on the cheek, and they have some sort of brohood that will last the years, the centuries, the eons.
I'm sure they're still close to this day.
What are you
I'm
alluding
just saying
to?
they're still, bros.
Oh, they're bros.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
They bro out. They exchanged I love yous. Love you, man.
Yes, they did.
Love you, brother. And I went 3 days.
I bought
3 days, guys.
I bought their relationship as much as I bought him and the reporter's relationship.
That's true. Unfortunately, the best relationship that Jean Claude Van Damme acted was when he longingly stared at Senzo's katana. For some reason, he couldn't muster the same level of intimacy and intensity in his eyes when it came to woman or large man.
Yeah, it was sword.
Yeah. And there we have it. That is the Bloodsport.
But okay, so at the end, he and the FBI agents are getting on the plane.
No, the FBI agents are waiting at the bottom of the stair runway for Frank, and they're all going to go back to America.
Yes. So Frank is on the top of the stairway.
he somehow got on the plane before they did.
Oh, of course.
He's
teleported.
so fast.
Yeah.
He meditated and then willed his body like Lucy. He turned into a...
But so they get on the plane and Frank's standing there on the stairs, and then this car pulls up and the reporter lady gets out like she's going to go with them.
Yeah.
But then they just stare at each other and do that weird hand thing.
Yeah, she it's not a weird hand thing.
I don't know what it's called.
She did the open palm fist. So the fist goes into the open palm, and she did like the karate bow thing.
Kind of.
And it was real awkward.
And then he does it.
He does it to her.
And then it freeze frames and it's over.
Yeah.
But then we get the statistics.
Well, we learn, according to this movie, do you have them?
I have them.
We learn that Frank Dukes, to this day, still holds multiple Kumite world records, including, doesn't he have one for most consecutive wins in a single tournament? Do you have that too? And it's like 500 something?
He has...
I'm sorry. You read the list. I'll shut up.
There is most consecutive knockouts in a single tournament with 56.
Yeah.
How big was this tournament?
No, I'm telling you, there's a statistic that he won like 500 matches in a tournament.
That was when he retired. I know I had it. He was undefeated.
Of course he was.
329 fights and retired undefeated.
Okay.
And he was the world heavyweight champion of something. But 329 fights and he never lost a single one.
No. Oh my God. Do you have the fastest knockout records?
I do.
So, okay. So
3.2 seconds.
Hold on. So yes, he retired the undefeated world heavyweight champion in full contact Kumite with a total 329 wins. Tevis, please regale the people with his still standing records.
He has the most consecutive knockouts in a single tournament with 56. Fastest kick with a knockout, 0.72 seconds.
See, my list shows that as the kick was clocked at 72 miles an hour.
Right. I'm sorry, I got these two mixed up. Yeah, fastest kick with a knockout, 72 miles per hour. Fastest punch with a knockout was 0.12 seconds.
He knocked someone out in a 1/10 of a second with a punch.
Yes.
They clocked his foot speed. Was his hand traveling so fast that the radar gun couldn't catch it?
I don't know.
He knocked someone out with a single punch in 0.12. Please continue.
And then the fastest knockout was 3.2 seconds.
Now, question. Shouldn't the fastest knockout be 0.12 seconds?
You would think.
Because that was the knockout.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking the same thing.
You can't have... Now, like, fastest knockout with a kick is like, whatever. Okay, and now they've got one with... Sure, that's a different... But fastest overall knockout should, in theory, be the punch, right?
I mean, unless it was the time it took for the punch from wind up to delivery to knockout, maybe the fastest knockout was from the beginning of the match, 3.2 seconds.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So maybe the match lasted a minute and a half, and he knocked this guy out from the punch 1.2 seconds, but it wasn't the fastest in the tournament, in the match itself. You know what I mean?
No.
So the fastest knockout.
Yeah.
Ding. Starts
3.2 seconds later. Someone's knocked out.
Yes.
Okay.
The fastest knockout with a punch. Ding. A minute and a half went by, and then he actually delivered the knockout punch.
I'm with you.
With the
okay.
That 0.12 seconds.
Yeah. Okay. I'm with you. I'm with you. Now, explain to me, Tevis, then, how is it that the claim shows that he had 329 matches between the years of 1975 and 1980, yet he claims to have participated in a secret Kumite tournament in the Bahamas only in 1975? Where were the other 4 tournaments?
I think this is just a case of bullshit.
Well, now, hold on. Okay, hold on. Because he was not only the first Westerner to win the tournament, but he was also the first person in Kumite history to be given permission to speak publicly about it.
Of course.
And he also founded the first American ninjutsu system, Duke's Ryu.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Bullshito.
Also, here's a picture of him, and I'm just going, that guy is not. The only person he's knocking out is his wife.
And that's Grand Slam breakfast as well. Oh, yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks like Dan Severn, only smaller.
Now, I do like the clips and the different things of him, like, displaying his martial arts talents, because it looks a lot like that guy who does the whole comedy bit where he's like, now, let's say they come at you with a knife. What you do is, boom, you block it with the palm of your hand so the knife comes through. Now, what does this give you? Full control of his weapon. Now, what you can also do is block it with both hands so the knife goes through both hands. Now you have total control. Now, what I like to do with this is I'll take the blade, bend his arms back down like this, and then come down, boom, we've cut his own Achilles tendon now. Is that not what you get?
That's what I get, especially for what I've read about it.
So, okay, we're at the end of the movie. Let's talk about Mr. Dukes. Let's talk about Frankie Boy.
Okay. When the boy reached 16 years of age.
Yes, go on. Wait, how old was he when the bill of his hat got cut off?
So apparently the whole him breaking in to the house and trying to steal the sword, he claims that was the producer's idea. That never happened.
Okay.
But he said that by breaking into the house, that was the producer's idea, which I objected to. But now in hindsight, I must admit he was right to do with this, given screen time limitations and all that bullshit. So it was just he calls it a clever device to help people understand the importance of martial arts training, which
sure,
yeah.
Oh, sure.
But in one of the reporters, his name was John Johnson.
That's unfortunate.
That sounds.
So his parents hate him. Yeah. That's what I'm getting out of it. So Mr. Johnson's parents hate him,
and his partner Ben Benson,
Benny Boy, yeah. Benjamin,
and their editor, Joseph Josenstein. No, anyway, John Johnson.
Well, I'm glad they believe in diversity.
Yeah, he reported he could find no evidence of Dukes' alleged teacher, Senzo Tiger Tanaka.
Yes.
In any history books or from any other martial arts expert.
No one's ever heard of him.
Nobody's ever heard of him.
Well, it's because he was a ninja master. Damn.
Absolutely. So Dukes, told Johnson he did not know the whereabouts of Tanaka or if he was even still alive. So years later, his story changed. It was from him dying. It was Tanaka's dying wish to get into the Kumite, for Dukes to get into the Kumite.
So he did straight up change his story to, I'm not even sure if he's still alive. I don't know where he is, what he's up to. Oh no, he died before I got into the Kumite.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then there's reports of him. He died in Los Angeles in the 70s, but then he said he may have died in Japan. So the stories get all kinds of.
But somebody did find a story where this guy was a person.
No, this is all Dukes' claim.
Okay.
He died in Los Angeles at one point, but then he may have died in Japan at another point.
Okay, I thought this was found evidence. These are all just different Duke stories.
There's no evidence of this guy ever existing.
Okay.
But Johnson pointed out that his teacher, Tanaka, has the exact same name as the ninja commander from Ian Fleming's James Bond novel, You Only Live Twice.
Ooh.
Frank's response to this, he said, well, yeah, Ian Fleming used to base his characters on real people.
I mean, to be fair, isn't it pretty much public record now that James Bond was Christopher Lee?
Oh, I don't know.
You haven't heard that?
No, was it really?
There is a lot of conjecture that Christopher Lee during the war may have been an actual spy and may have done some real serious stuff.
Okay. I mean, that honestly, that fits.
Well, remember the story, which is true. Everyone knows it, where there's the cut scene in Two Towers where Saruman gets stabbed in the back, and Lee corrects Jackson and goes, "That's not how people sound when they get stabbed in the back."
Yeah.
There may or may not be reasons he would know that in some sort of intimate way.
That's, you know what? I like that. But even then, he didn't use the name Christopher Lee.
Right. Yeah.
So,
well, because his friend would get murdered.
Yeah.
They'd be like, I've just read this book and look at this asshole. The name's Lee. Chris Lee.
Back in the Marine Corps.
Okay, so he was a Marine.
And later with the CIA. Frank
Of
Dukes,
course he was.
He claimed to be sent on a covert mission to destroy a Nicaraguan fuel depot and an Iraqi chemical weapons plant.
Okay.
This earned him the Medal of Honor.
Oh my God.
Which he said he received in secret.
Wait. Wouldn't that be stolen valor?
Yes.
Couldn't he be prosecuted by the state for stolen valor?
Yes.
To claim military at this level, to claim military service and receive receipt of a Medal of Honor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But in his memoir, he also claimed that he sold off the sword that he claimed to have won as a prize in the tournament
for cocaine money
to pay off pirates who foolishly chose to fight him. He says, "We took up arms and fought boat pirates, and we got those kids free."
What does that mean?
I'm in touch with some of them, and they love me to death. And I'll tell you, I've got one kid who's about 15 years old. All I have to do is look cross-eyed at one guy, and he'd kill them for me.
What does any of that mean?
Did you free some kids from pirates? And
now they've become killers and assassins at your behalf?
Yeah.
It's like I'm listening to Hulk Hogan talk.
Exactly right. One journalist found that the Kumite trophy that Frank Dukes displays was made by a local shop in San Fernando Valley.
I read that one. Yeah. I read that one that they were like, there's a stamp on the bottom that's like Fred's trophies.
Yeah, peel that sumbitch off, dude, before you. But his military record actually showed he never left San Diego. His only injury was falling off a truck he was told to paint. And the medals that he later presented were mismatched non-Marine Corps ribbons. His medical file noted that on January 22nd, 1978, Dukes was referred to a psychiatric evaluation for flighty and disconnected ideas. One of there was presumed the claim that CIA Director William Casey himself had sent Dukes on his missions, instructing the ninja from secret confines of a men's room.
Wait, hold on. Are you getting some real, beautiful mind?
Exactly. I was getting ready to say that
shit right now.
Yeah.
At first it was funny. Now I think it might be sad.
Yeah.
This might be less funny now. It's still a little funny, but I think it might be less funny.
He's just
sick,
and everything he touches turns to gold in his mind. And he was,
well, it turns to covert government murder in his mind.
He was apparently born to be a ninja. As soon as he came out of the womb, he
Can I be armchair psychiatrist for a second?
Sure.
From what you've just said, what it sounds like is we have a young man who likes the spy novels and the military whatever. He probably was a fan of war movies. He obviously liked James Bond novels.
A little bit, yes.
Saw that. See, I had read something that his military service may have been fabricated as well. Yeah. But he was at least in the Marines as chief truck painter. And he effed that up, I guess. But joins the Marines, which may have furthered an undiagnosed mental condition that aided in his fantasies?
Yes. Yeah, because the Tanaka apparently, Frank claims that he died in July 30th of 1975. He was buried in California by a clan of ninjas.
You know, I hear they have a really good ties with the different funeral plots and cemeteries.
Yeah, you can get a good deal on them too.
Yeah.
But the state of California lists no death under that Tanaka name.
Because it was a fictitious character.
In the 1970s at all, not just 75, like 70s at all. So when this information was brought to Mr. Dukes, he pointed to the conspiracy of silence involving the CIA, ninjas, and magazine publishers eager to retract their glowing stories on him. So
now, wait a minute, because we're talking 70s.
Yeah.
How could the heads of magazines retract glowing stories about them in a time where it was exclusively print media? I make a magazine, my stories are in that magazine, you buy that magazine. 10 years later, I go, oh man, there's no way I could try to discredit the stories by writing new stories.
Yeah.
But those magazines and those glowing stories are in the hands of consumers. And there's no way to cancel that.
I think he's just saying that, the publishers are like, the
CIA and their ninjas snuck into the house of everyone who has a copy of these magazines.
Yeah, they have the list. They have the mailing list.
Yeah.
I mean, they just go and then
sneak in.
Yeah.
And God forbid you wake up to pee or something, because then you have to die.
Oh, the ninja, they're silent. They'd be all right.
Silent but deadly.
Yeah. So yeah, the more I read about this guy, the more I'm just like, it's such just bullshit. Just complete and utter bullshit.
Yeah, that bums me out. This really bums me out.
Yeah, and honestly, it affected the way I watched the movie.
Yes. All right. Well, I thought we were going to have a good laugh, and now I'm actually just kind of sad. All right, moving on. Ratings. IMDb gives Bloodsport a 6.8.
Too high.
And Rotten Tomatoes giving it a 48% for a grand total of 116.
There it is.
Which is higher than Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That's some bullshit.
That is some bullshit.
I would believe the story of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was real before I would this bullshit. He was blinded, but still won.
Oh, yeah. All right. Did you herniate yourself again?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Reviews.
I sit on that taser.
Reviews. LA Times. Hacking through the jungle of cliche and a reservoir of bad acting in Bloodsport. I'm sorry. Hacking through the jungle of cliche and a reservoir of bad acting. In Bloodsport, there are some pretty exciting matches.
Okay.
Chicago Tribune. I did not find any racially problematic quotes or statements in this article.
Okay.
Also, okay. You know what was harder than finding if Shinzo Tanaka existed? Finding 2 congruent published reviews of Bloodsport.
Really?
Yes. I found LA Times and then I searched everywhere, purposely avoiding Chicago Tribune for 3/5 reasons. I couldn't find anything.
Okay.
Plenty of like modern stuff, but not like of the time. So I bit the bullet and I looked and I found one in the Chicago Tribune. So here we are.
Okay.
The contest format is hopelessly repetitive and inert. The characters would seem underdeveloped even in a comic book, and the restricted setting ensures the action will never develop any real scale.
The characters were underdeveloped? I don't even feel like they were attempting to do any kind of development at all. So
They weren't underdeveloped, they were undeveloped.
they were, yeah, they were.
They
just,
were just negatives.
yeah, I don't understand that. Okay.
Now, Jesus. All right.
Jesus.
Jesus. Tevis, do you have any awards?
I do.
I'm looking at our award board. I don't have much.
I have quite a bit, actually.
Well, the Charlie Sheen Award for Best Accent goes to
Young Frank.
Young Frank.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Pierre Raffini, I believe is how you pronounce it.
It's real bad.
I looked up his filmography.
Yeah.
This was it.
Good for him.
Yeah.
You know what? Good for him. He got to be in a movie. Have you been in a movie?
No.
All right, then.
No.
Good for
not
him.
one that I can talk about, but
Ninjas and all.
no, it was a secret CIA training video that I did. I can't.
It was a covert propaganda film that got blanketed all over
Yeah,
the Middle East.
I can't really talk much about it, but it did win me a medal.
Oh.
Yeah. Piece of shrapnel in my leg.
Right in the old Mongolian stomper.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is also the name of an old-timey wrestler for old-timey wrestling fans.
Is it really?
Yeah. The Mongolian stomper. Look it up.
Like Vern Gagne era?
I am not well-versed enough at this moment to give you an era.
Now I'm curious.
Mongolian stomper was a wrestler.
The Mongolian Stomper.
You said that like you're surprised. I just told you he was a wrestler.
Archie Gould?
Sure.
Yeah, died in 2016. He was born in 36. Okay.
So yeah, he would have been wrestling in like the 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
I think that's old-timey.
Bret Hart named him as the greatest Canadian wrestler of all time.
Well, that's because Bret Hart's not allowed to name himself.
That is true as well.
All right. But no, my Charlie Sheen Award goes to young Frank Dukes.
Absolutely. I have the Shelley Duvall It's Fine Award.
Okay.
Honestly, it's the fights.
Okay.
They're
Now, do you mean the montage fights or the actual fights, like the ones we spend time with?
kind of all of them, honestly.
Okay.
They're not bad.
Yeah.
They're not great. There's very little. I'm never worried about who might win.
Sure.
There's no, and honestly, some of them, the contact is, you could tell that they miss.
Well, there is one guy that dead ass falls the wrong direction from the way he got hit.
Yeah, there's just a lot of, and there's a lot of slow motion shit.
Yeah. Which really just highlights the bad part.
Yeah, exactly. It does. Yeah. So that's my Shelley Duvall. It's the fights.
Fair enough. Well, my Roger Murtaugh Award for being too old for this shit goes to Shibushi Shinzo Tanaka. How many people do you know sleep with their eyes open?
Dumbass.
He just seems so put out in every scene.
He does. He does. The Halle Berry
Hey, you got it
Award
right.
for worst line. Anything young Frank says.
Would you quit hating on young Frank?
Oh, he's so bad. He's so bad. Like I said before, the David Flair of this film.
Not the Mongolian Stomper,
No.
you're saying.
No, he was definitely not the best wrestler in WCW.
Or anywhere else.
Although I bet he would be the top bill at AEW. Just because everybody else is dead.
No one cares. Okay. Do you have any other awards?
I do.
Okay.
The Maximus Award for the best line.
Stop it. You are giving that out too frequently. None of the lines in this movie are worthy of the Maximus Award.
Ray Jackson. I ain't your pal, dick face. It's fabulous. It's fabulous.
No, wait, okay. No, we're just F it. We have no standards. The Maximus Award goes to Senzo's son for Why Don't You Quit, Round Eye.
That's a good one too.
That is the best one.
The Brie Larson Award for bad acting. Just
I forgot about that one. It's not
on
the board.
I just have everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, even Forrest Whitaker is brought down by this.
Bryan Cranston Award.
Totally wasted.
For being totally wasted.
Forrest Whitaker?
No, it was me. After I finished watching this film, I had to get hammered.
I think that's the wrong definition of. See, we're going for the A definition in the dictionary, not the B or C.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. I retract that. And that's all I got.
Yeah.
What's the best part of this movie for you?
Fight montages.
Fight montage?
Fight montage.
Okay.
I actually really enjoyed them. You're right. There was no drama, and I wasn't worried. That's not the point of the montage.
Yeah. I'm not talking about just the montage. I'm talking about the entire.
Right, but I'm not talking about Jean Claude's fights. I'm talking about the montages. It was cool to see all the different nationalities, the sizes, the fighting disciplines in this gritty underground style and show off some stuff that they do. It was cool.
Best part for me, you might get a little shit for this. It was Jean Claude Van Damme.
His ass?
Yeah. No, it's just him, his moves, the way he jumps and kicks and.
Oh, he's exceedingly talented at martial arts.
Yes.
He's not exceedingly talented as an actor.
He gets better throughout his career.
Sure.
Not great, but just watching him be him, just kicking and fighting, and even the slow motion shit with the facial, the face, the faces that he makes, the fight faces.
Fight faces.
It's so fucking cool, and I loved it. But no, so where was Jean Claude Van Damme for you in the top four of Stallone, Arnold, Van Damme, or Seagal?
3.
He was number 3 for you?
Yeah.
Behind
Arnold is 1.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan, but he has a better filmography. Stallone is 2. Then Van Damme, and I stop at 3.
Stop at 3.
I see you're like big 4, and I'm going big 4.
Yeah.
No, Seagal's not even on my list.
Yeah, mine either.
Vacant.
He was the only one that I ever watched of Seagal's that I actually enjoyed was Mark for Death.
Okay. Is that the one with super young Tommy Lee Jones?
No, that was Under Siege.
Okay.
And actually, I liked Under Siege too, but it wasn't for.
You've seen way too many Seagal movies.
I've watched all of them. I may have a problem. But no, yeah, I'm pretty much in the same boat as you. Like Arnold was my top, but Stallone and Van Damme could kind of flip every once in a while.
Well, okay, I think Van Damme is the most gifted as a physical performer.
Yes,
of all of them.
I agree.
But honestly, I think Arnold and Stallone are better actors.
I agree.
And I tend to like Arnold movies more than Stallone movies.
I agree with that as well.
Okay.
I enjoyed watching Van Damme be Van Damme in a fight more than I did Stallone or Arnold.
Oh, agreed.
They weren't finesse. They were just brutes, and it was just it was okay.
Yeah. Plus, we like kung fu.
Yeah, absolutely.
We like kung fu movies. We like the style. Now,
what's the worst part?
Any scene that has dialogue. I'm not kidding.
That's fair too. I have the
any scene that has dialogue.
I have the true story aspect of this film.
Based on air quotes, the true story, air quotes.
Yes. All right. And what prop would you display in the studio?
This movie only has one prop. It would be the Kumite katana.
Oh, no. I got something different.
Harley Davidson bandana?
Close.
The gold tooth?
Close. Actually, no, that's not close.
I don't know.
Chong Li's headband.
Oh, his headband.
Yeah.
Sure.
I like that. That dude is so fucking cool looking.
Yeah.
Although
he's huge and horrifying.
He's cool looking when he's not playing to the crowd.
Then he looks like a dork.
He looks like a big dork. And I'm like, no, please.
Let's not do this.
Stop.
Sure. Now, I promised everyone a running tally of how many times Van Damme does the splits in Bloodsport. His first feature film. Tevis, do you have a guess?
Oh, okay. Well, there's the chair one, the tree one.
Yep.
Fight one.
Yep.
I think he does it twice in a fight, doesn't he?
Yep.
There's the one on top of the earth.
Yep. On top of the earth. My God, Frank, calm down.
I mean, he was on top of the world. So 8?
Close. 7.
Oh.
It is 7. You were real close.
Shit.
He does the splits in more and more contrived reasons throughout the movie 7 times.
A little excessive.
If he had not done it at all and then just did it one time in the middle of the big fight, that would have been cool and impactful. Well, they do it so many times throughout the movie that it loses its aura.
They should have done what he does the training where the guy's pulling the ropes and making his legs split, and then bring it back at the end of the fight, the first fight. So we see him learning how to do it, and then we see him use it.
Maybe. But even that will undercut the...
Yeah, but then you lose the face of him getting stretched where he's all like... looks like Arnold on Mars.
Oh, darn.
His eyes popping out.
I'd sure hate to lose that. All right. Before we get into final thoughts, I have one more question for you, Tevis.
Okay.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Bloodsport is not your favorite martial arts movie.
No.
So I would like to ask you, what is your favorite martial arts movie?
Oh. Damn. That's a good question. I don't know. Matrix?
Okay. I mean, that is a pick.
Yeah, I'd have to think about that.
Okay.
Let me answer that at the end.
You think you stew on it?
I will.
Okay.
What's your favorite martial art?
Jet Li's Fearless, where he plays real-life hero Huinja.
I don't know if I know that one.
Jet Li's Fearless is phenomenal.
Oh, Taylor Swift.
No, wrong. Did you put Jet Li's Fearless?
No, I did not. There it is. Nope, I don't know that one.
So basically, he was, and again, it based on the true story in the life of Huinja. But he was kind of he was always a very gifted martial artist, but was kind of a jerk. And then in the middle of a duel, he kills his opponent, who was a master to a rival dojo. And like that guy's nephew takes revenge, ends up killing Huinja's family. Huinja goes to get revenge, but in that moment can't bring himself to do it. So he flees and ends up like joining a community of just like rice farmers out in the middle of nowhere. And he befriends this blind woman who takes care of him and teaches him a more relaxed, slower paced lifestyle and teaches him how to be content, essentially. Then Huinja comes back and fulfills his dream of opening a dojo again with the help of his buddy who ended up being a successful businessman. But then the politics start coming in of like China's industrialization and foreign powers like the Brits and the Americans coming in. And so they all agree to host a huge tournament where everyone brings their best fighters. And so you've got like the best Japanese fighter and like this big American brute and the British boxer, and Huinja just fights all these different guys in this tournament, and it's really good. If you haven't seen Fearless, watch Fearless.
I know of it. I recognize the
Fearless is worth the ticket price.
my I don't know if it's my favorite, but I watched the hell out of it when I was a kid.
Okay.
But I don't ever remember if I watched the entire thing.
Okay.
It's called Jim Kata.
I'm not familiar with that.
It's about this Olympic gymnast. He goes and he enters this deadly competition in some country. So I'm sure it's a fictional country, but he combines his Olympic gymnastics with martial arts. And I just remember the ending of it. It had this really cool section where he's running through this city and it's all this maze of shit and all these ninjas and shit are trying to get him and he just does these really cool moves. That's all I remember of it. And it came out in 85.
What's it called again?
Jim Kata.
Jim Kata.
I'm sure it's probably shit, but I just remember loving the hell out of it.
Well, there you go.
So yeah, that might be my favorite because it's still in my brain.
Sure.
It's probably not my favorite if I rewatch it.
I'm serious, man. Watch Fearless. You watch a lot of movies, as we all do. Watch Fearless for me.
I'll watch Fearless. And
I
then
will.
I'll
Hold on.
find
We're
Jim
going to
Kata.
skip the hat pick, and we're just going to do Jet Li's Fearless. All right. I think we're there. I can't put it off any longer. Tevis, what are your final thoughts on Bloodsport?
Okay. I'm gonna be nice.
How out of character?
This movie kind of sucks. And I'm basing my opinion on a couple of different things, and they are outside influences. Number one being everything I've read about Frank Dukes, and number two, I rewatched Kickboxer fairly close to watching this. It's a total night and day difference. It's the exact same fucking story almost, but the acting is way better in Kickboxer. The fights are way better. The villain's way better. And it's almost like they did Bloodsport and Jean Claude's like, man, I know I got it in me to do something a better film than Bloodsport.
Yeah.
And then he did Kickboxer. The acting is terrible. The only good actor in this, there's two actually, is Forrest Whitaker, but his character is kind of goofy.
No.
And Donald Gibb, who plays Ray Jackson. he does a good job with what he's got. But man, no, the dialogue in this is painful. It's fucking painful to sit through. Some of the fights are honestly painful to sit through. And when it's not Jean Claude on screen. When Jean Claude's on screen doing his Jean Claude shit, it's fucking cool. But no, skip it. It's not worth the ticket price. I'm probably going to get destroyed for this, but watch The Quest. It's better. Watch Kickboxer. It's better. Watch Death Warrant. It's better.
Watch
Lionheart. It's better.
No.
Watch Street Fighter.
Yes.
It's not better.
Oh. The day M. Bison entered your life. Or was it? The day M. Bison came to your village, it was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was a Tuesday.
That's a good line.
That is a Maximus Award-winning line.
That's a good line.
Which this movie did not have.
I'm sorry. I ain't your pal, dick face.
Why don't you just give up, round eye? All right. 1988's Bloodsport. Is it worth the ticket price? Well, the three writers, red flag. The curse is alive and well. Only three writers. Have you noticed this too? Teams of three writers produce more montages.
Oh, yeah.
Than any other combination of writing staff I've ever seen. The acting is atrocious, made worse by the fact that almost everyone had to voice over their lines and really try to hit those American words so they're understandable. And then those voiceovers are just a little off from lip movement, which is really irritating.
It's distracting.
The story is convoluted and dumb. And then honestly, then the story is hampered by the unnecessary and somehow even worse side stories, like the love story and the FBI agents and the whatever. No one cares.
Yeah.
We want to see big, beefy men beat the shit out of each other. Just give us what we want. I want it. Give it to me. I disagree with you a little bit. I think the fight montages are ultimately cool. The music is not Mortal Kombat iconic, but like it works. I like seeing the different styles, so that is a highlight for me. But guess what? There are so many other movies where I can get that are so much better. And now I'm realizing that my appreciation from seeing all these different people and all their different disciplines hash it out probably comes from my love of Jet Li's Fearless, which a pivotal moment of that is Jet Li's Huinja's style of Chinese martial arts being paired against all these other different nations and their top fighters. So apparently I just have a thing for that interdiscipline exhibition.
That's fair.
But man, this movie is abysmal. It is abysmal. So is it worth the ticket price? No.
There it is.
Not even a little. Absolutely not.
I will say,
and I'm sad we didn't make Sarah watch it.
I will say one of the only redeeming qualities of this movie is it gave us Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter and all of those.
Well, maybe not Street Fighter.
Maybe not Street Fighter, but
it gave us Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
And Street Fighter, maybe not Street Fighter. It gave us Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Ooh, maybe not Mortal Kombat Annihilation. It gave us Tekken. Ooh, maybe not.
I love Tekken. Tekken was my fave.
The movie?
No, the video game.
Oh, okay. I'm talking about the movie.
Oh, I've never seen the movie because I was like, no, absolutely.
Mortal Kombat Annihilation, the sequel to Mortal Kombat.
Never watched that because I've seen enough of it just through.
All right, everyone. I need you to listen very closely. If you're not already, follow the show. Once you're following, share it around. We need to build the community. Tevis, what would be the next major milestone in followers?
150.
Let's get to 150. I will not only force Tevis to watch Mortal Kombat Annihilation, we will mic ourselves and do a watch along recording. So then you at home can watch Mortal Kombat Annihilation, and we'll all just watch it together in real time whenever you're able to get the chance. 150 followers, and I will make Tevis watch. Oh, man, you know what? I have no words.
The worst film in history?
I don't know if it's the worst film in history, but it might be.
It's close.
One way to find out. So the challenge is out there. I need your all's help to punish Tevis. Help me ruin this man's life. Now, Tevis, on air, in front of the people, do you agree?
I agree.
Do you agree to these terms?
We would do it.
So let it be known, 150 followers, we will do a watch-along episode of Mortal Kombat Annihilation. At 25 Patreon subscribers, we will play Outlast.
Yes.
On a stream,
yes.
So we can all watch and laugh. And at 50 Patreon subscribers, we will stream Tevis playing Subnautica and face his fears of the unknown depths.
I'm on board.
I am too. So all right, everyone. Oh no, we haven't done the hat.
Nope, do that.
I think it's your turn.
It's your turn.
No, I pulled
Bloodsport.
No, I pulled Bloodsport.
I pulled Bloodsport.
Why do you hate pulling from the hat?
Because I pull shit. I pulled Bloodsport.
No, I pulled Bloodsport. All right, hold on. All right, I got one. It's a little dusty, but it's not like Die Hard 2 dusty.
Die Hard 2.
No, I just said it's not Die Hard 2.
Come on.
All right.
Come on.
I'm trying to remember what this movie is.
Fuck it. It's not Die Hard 2.
Okay. Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves?
Sandra Bullock.
Lake House?
They're on a bus.
Really? We're doing Speed?
Wait, what?
Speed.
Oh, no, this isn't. Am I describing Speed?
Yes.
Oh, no, we're not doing Speed.
Okay.
Are you sure?
Lake House.
No.
Was there a time-traveling mailbox?
Well, there might be. I obviously don't know what this movie is.
Did he turn into a fucking flash truck?
They might. Okay, hold on. Which one? This movie is Unstoppable. Which one is Unstoppable?
Frank Dukes is unstoppable.
That's true. He's so fast. He put a quarter in my hand while taking $1 out of my hand. Okay, hold on. Shut up. Everybody shut up. There was a sequence of years that involved actors and runaway vehicles.
Yes.
Which one is Unstoppable?
Denzel. Is that Denzel?
I'm asking you. I thought it was Keanu and Sandra.
No, that's Speed.
That's what you said, and I believe you. So I don't know which one Unstoppable is.
Oh, that's the song by Sia, apparently. Wait a minute. There's another movie called Unstoppable with Anthony Robbins and Jennifer Lopez.
Oh, I hope it's that one.
Oh, God. I hope it's not that
Wait,
one.
are we watching a J-Lo movie? That's not Anaconda?
That guy looks like Chris Tucker.
Are you saying Anthony Robbins is discount Chris Tucker?
Who's the other Chris?
Rock.
That's what. Yeah. Look at that one picture right there.
Let me look. Oh, man.
Yeah,
he looks like some form of generic.
That's 2024. I wouldn't have put that in the hat. There it is. Yes. Chris Pine. Denzel Washington, 2010. Unstoppable on a Train.
Oh, it's the train one. Yes.
Directed by Tony Scott. Hell yeah.
Ridley Scott's untalented brother.
It's fantastic.
Speaking of Ridley Scott, this pisses me off.
Okay.
Have you seen the pictures of them filming Napoleon?
No.
The colors are amazing. Joaquin Phoenix's Napoleon is walking around in this bright, flamboyant blue and red military uniform, and his medals sparkle, and the color is amazing. And then they just like, I don't know the technical term, but they just like dulled the colors to the point it was like this borderline lifeless gray the whole movie.
Really?
And from what I was reading, a lot of movies are doing this. Why? You know what I like? Color.
They try to make it gritty and
like just let us.
Doom-filled.
Napoleon should have been walking the streets of Paris in his bright, flashy uniform.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
What's the use of making it all bright and flashy if you're just going to dull the color down?
And then they just like turn the saturation way down on the slider in post. Why? Why are we doing this?
That's upsetting.
Like if your movie is Nosferatu, then yes, the movie is grayscale, basically. But like, color is good. Color is your friend. Do not be afraid of the colors. There are many, many colors, and they're all very and equally important and have their uses. Let us see the colors.
I have not watched Napoleon, so I have no feeling in this game.
You're not missing anything.
But now we're not doing Napoleon.
No, we are doing Keanu. Unstoppable.
With Chris Pines and
Pines? Plural?
Pines.
There's more than one?
There's more than one Pine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chris Forrest?
Yes.
And our man,
Denzel.
Oh, yeah. All right. Unstoppable. Something about a train. I don't know.
It's Unstoppable.
I know I've seen it before, but there was a bunch of these movies where it's just people fighting, runaway, whatever.
Yeah, it's a cool little trick.
Yeah, but not when it's just like 3 years and that's all the studios are producing, and then you just oversaturate the market.
Well, it's not like the year where they had dual everything. You know, you had Volcano and Dante's Inferno, and then you had Deep Impact and Armageddon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? When you're right, you're right. I got to give it to you. But okay, everyone, I'll give it to you like the Romanian hole punch. I want to thank everyone so much for listening.
I like it.
That's right. Thank you all so much for listening. I'm Jake, that's Tevis. We are Ticket Price. This was Bloodsport, unanimously not worth the ticket price. Please remember, if we get to 150 followers for the show, we will do a watch-along of Mortal Kombat Annihilation. And then we have some Patreon stuff, too. We also have a merch store. Be sure to check that out. I think more or less throughout the episode, I've covered all the spiel. Follow, notifications, etc. We got there. Thank you all so much for listening. And as always, the most important part. Please remember to be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and good night. Next week, Unstoppable.